Good morning, everybody. This is Lorraine.
Apparently, I'm Lorraine too, so we'll go ahead and fix that.
Okay, then.
There we go.
There we go.
Jennifer.
And despite the fact that we don't know exactly who we are, this morning, my friend Jennifer and I are going to talk about why you need friends.
I know we live in this environment of being at home a lot for some of us, and but I think it's good to get outside of your own bubble.
It absolutely is. And kind of what got me thinking about this is I read this article and they were talking about the fact that entrepreneurs need three things: smarts, guts, and luck. And while I didn't disagree, I mean, you gotta be able to think, you got to be able to look at your business intellectually, you got to be brave.
Yeah.
Things have to work out. But I really felt that all of those fell in line behind people, behind the support network that you create for your business.
If you don't have good friends, then you don't have somebody to talk with, to be real with, and be like, you know what, I'm struggling. Like,
Absolutely. And it's not, I think a lot of business owners get into this and think, well, it's my business. I need to have all the answers.
I need to be strong, and I need to, portray this, that I've got it. And none of us have it all the time. And that's reality.
Absolutely. And you know what? You're not really bright if you think you're going to do it all based on what you know.
Yeah.
Because no matter how much you know, no matter how much education you have, no matter how much experience you have, there are gaps in your skill set.
Because you only have what you have. You only have your own perspective, and listening to other people sometimes gives you ideas of, yeah, I don't want to do it that way. And I know why I don't want to do it that way, but at least you have that perspective of, this is how that person's going about it. And sometimes you get some ideas and you're like, oh, well, that's a good idea, but I want to take it this direction. And so, and I think social media lends us to echo chambers.
Yes. I think, that's definitely true, where when you're on social media, you have a lot of people that are reinforcing because you like things that support your ideas. And so you tend to get into this very narrow mode. But if you're going to be successful as a business owner, you need to have a broad community. You need to have people in your sphere that have a range of ideas, that look at things differently. You need to have a few people that are your, I'm going to call your grandparents, that just give you unconditional love. That just, when stuff is not going well, you can pick up the phone and go, tell me I'm okay. Tell me I'm okay. Don't ask why I'm asking. Don't just tell me I'm okay.
Give you that encouragement. And I would say too, constantly seeking to meet new people. Because I mean, you can have a good set, but you got to leave a little room for meeting different people. And I think there's only probably a core people that you can communicate on an ongoing basis. Obviously, we're just humans. We only have so much time, but you got to have that room to develop.
Absolutely. One of my favorite stories is my early days of my business, I was in BNI. And the rule in BNI is if you can't go, you have to have somebody as your substitute. So I called a friend of mine who was another marketing person. I said, Sandy, will you sit in for me? And she says, I can't, but my friend Eric is looking to go to a lot of chapters, and he will sub for you. And so I sent her kind of my intro, and she said, Eric's going to do this. I said, great. A few weeks later, I'm at a networking event, and I'm walking into the event, and I kind of come face to face with this very large man. And I introduce, because we're standing in a doorway, there's no way to get around him. And so I do the hi, I'm Lorraine Ball, to which he replies, oh, I'm you. Now, I'm looking at this guy, big, tall, bald, thinking, you're a psycho. But it turns out this was Eric, and he actually had been the guy who had subbed for me. And so we laughed about it. We talked, had nothing in common except the fact that we were both business owners looking to grow. We bought a building together. The little white house, I would never have bought it if Eric wasn't looking for an office too.
There you go. There you go. That, reminds me of, that community building and getting out there and meeting other people. You never know when it's going to pay off, because, it kind of builds on, oh, well, if you know this person, then, oh, you must be, or if you get along with this person. I actually had that recently where it's just like, oh, well, if you associate with that person, then you must, know what you're talking about. And so it kind of builds on top of each other of going out there and building that community of supporters. And I think along the way, you're going to also build some haters.
You know what? You will run into people who just don't get you. And that's okay.
Yeah.
The more people that you have in your community who do love you, who do appreciate, the people that you have in your community who will be honest with you and go, you know what, Lorraine, that not so good. Not so good. And you can go, oh, okay, and move on. Or no, tell me why it's not good. Tell me what I should be doing differently. As you have those conversations, you get better.
You just can't be afraid to put yourself out there. I heard from a friend the other day that, maybe they were a little worried about what they might say in a live environment like this. And I said, you know what? I am who I am. Do I go back and sometimes listen and say, well, why did I say it that way? But it's live. This is me. And hopefully you like me. But if you don't, it's okay.
Absolutely. And it is about having people who will encourage you to do to do the courageous things, to run headlong into something that everybody else says is crazy, but you got a few people saying, you know what, it's okay. And we'll be there to catch you if the whole thing crashes and burns. And that's really important.
Nothing new was created in life without the crazy person who is willing to try it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You've got to.
That goes with the guts, right? You got to have the guts.
Yeah. You've got to be willing to try. And I want to say, as you're looking at your community, as you're looking at your friends, you've got your family, you've got your personal friends, you've got your business associates. Don't forget, if you have employees, that you need to treat them as part of this community as well. Especially it's different. This is not a great big corporation where the president doesn't know the people on the ground.
People are not going to work for people who don't treat them like individuals and give them that, confidence that they're part of it.
And the really amazing thing, and this even goes back to my corporate days, I always had this feeling that when another department manager wanted to steal one of my employees and offer them a better opportunity, I took that as a victory because it meant that I had helped this person develop and grow, build the skill set that made them a good fit for that next step. And, 20 years of running Round Peg, I have really good relationships with so many of the people that came through my organization because while they were there, they loved it. It prepared them for something else. And I have employees that came to me because they knew the other person who said, you know what, go work for Lorraine for a year or two.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I I try to follow that same philosophy.
Mhm.
I want people to be happy, and I might not be where people stop. And that's a good thing. They're developing, they're growing into who they want to be. Is it sad when someone moves on? Yeah.
I mean, it's always sad when they move on, but if somebody knows that that's your philosophy while they're working with you, they're
Yeah.
gonna give it their all.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
All right, we're gonna go now so you can go out and make some friends.
Build your community. Take care.
See you guys.